What I suggest to play against e4, c5, knight f3 and g6 is, well, obviously d4 now. Pawn takes, and now I suggest to play queen takes. This creates a bunch of forcing moves now. So it's not the usual game we play against the Sicilian where there's like a million lines and we gotta study a little bit too much. This is also a very good move, and it's forcing a reply. We're attacking the rook, so black cannot play bishop g7 immediately as he was planning to. So obviously the move now is going to be knight f6, the best move by black. There's no other reply. e5 gets taken. Nothing else can be done. So knight f6 has to be played. And now we continue with e5, attacking the knight. So we'll analyze a bunch of lines and then we will go on in the next videos. We'll start with knight c6, attacking the queen, so black doesn't lose too many tempos. This is met by queen a4, moving the queen away. And now we're still attacking the knight. The knight cannot take e5 because it's protected by our knight. Anyway, I'm going to go through knight d5 first. White continues with queen to b3. So we're attacking the knight. Black has to respond. The knight should move away, knight c7 or knight to b6. Another move is also possible, which is e6. So we're going to look at that and then we'll look at the other moves. White now makes another forcing move, which is c4. Attacking the knight. The knight's got well, b6 against c7 or e7 to go to, or even b4. Let's start from knight to b6. White continues with now c3. Now, finally, black can play a move that is not forced. Black will have to do something. He's got weakness of the dark squares, but he does still have the dark square bishop. So there is no reason for the black player to develop the bishop over this diagonal, because then this will be a weakness. So what's the goal of the bishop going to, for example, to b4 or c5? It's eventually either going to stay there or get swapped, like bishop takes knight, or bishop just staying in c5, or some other relatable ideas. The problem is that then the black players will have problem on the dark squares, and the very goal of playing the g6 Sicilian is that then you're going to play the bishop to g7. So let's play bishop to g7, and now white continues with this crucial move, which is knight to e4. And yes, there are two pieces attacking this, but that pawn cannot be taken. The knight here is controlling d6, it's attacking d6 and f6, it's super strong, and black should go on with castling. But anyway, let's look at what happens if black actually takes the pawn, let's say with the knight. Now we can play bishop g5, we start exploiting the weakness over the dark squares. So what happens if the queen moves to c7? White plays queen to a3, threatening this move, and so this cannot be stopped. d6 is simply taken by the knight. King can't really move anywhere. Attacking the queen with the bishop doesn't work because of knight f6. And then when the king will go on the dark square, we have a bunch of nasty discovered checks. So knight f6, king moves to the only square, king d8. And now knight d5 is checked by the bishop. And if king moves, then knight c7 ends the game. And if black blocks the check, it doesn't really make too much difference. We still have two attackers. So back in this position, after the knight took the pawn in e5, after bishop g5, what happens if f6? Well, simply knight d6 check. And now the king can move to either e7 or f8. If king to e7, white takes the knight. And this pawn can't take the knight because it's pinned. So now the black player is down a piece. He might take the bishop, or king takes knight. Well, king takes knight is met by knight f7, winning the game. We win the queen. Pawn takes bishop instead is met by queen a3, threatening a discovered check, and this cannot be stopped. Black's best move according to the engine is bishop takes knight. So the bishop took the knight, taking a little bit of material because black knows that white is going to play knight b7, which comes with an attack on the queen. And now after d6 and knight takes queen, the black player may retake the knight back, but white's advantage is just great. White is easily winning this endgame. So from the start, g6 is met by d4, pawn takes, and then queen takes. We're forcing a reply, knight f6, we're looking at e5, and we're looking at knight c6, attacking the queen, queen a4, and knight moves to d5. White queen goes to b3, attacking the knight, and let's look at e6, still looking at that line. Now, c4 attacking the knight and forcing a reply. After knight to b6, knight to c3, and now black develops the bishop, and we play knight e4. So we notice why black shouldn't take this pawn in the previous line. Let's take like a few seconds just to show on why black cannot take with the bishop. This looks stupid, and let's see why. simply knight takes bishop, black has to take back, and now bishop g5, exploiting the weakness over the dark squares. f6 doesn't save the black player because double attack here, so black queen will have to move. And after queen c7 only move, we have the same pattern as before. Queen a3, stopping the black player from castling, threatening mate in 1, and we still have ideas of knight f6 and, well, yeah, or knight d6 even, depending on what black does. Advantage is +9, so let's move on to the other line. So here, let's see what happens after black castles. So this looks more serious. Still, white continues with bishop g5 attacking the queen. f6 is not possible because we have 1, 2, 3 attackers, and black has 3 defenders as well, but one of them is the rook, so that gives us the advantage of the exchange, and there's no compensation for black. So after queen to c7, moving the queen away, white continues with knight f6 check. Only move is king h8. Yes, bishop f6 is also possible, but that ends the game because then bishop takes back, and black cannot stop the plan of queen e3, queen h6, and then checkmate. Yeah, he can stop it, but he's gonna have to give up a lot of material, so that's a suicide. So after knight f6 check, king h8. Now white continues with queen e3, which also reinforces the defense of the square e5. The idea of the white player now, if white were to play again, will be h4, h5, and involve this rook in the attack. Black can never take this knight because of the deadly bishop f6, and yeah, you can figure out how to win such an easy attack. So after queen e3, what's best black's chance to try and defend this situation? d6 is the best move. The black player will have to involve the other bishop and also put more attack over the square e5 and possibly open a file for the rook. To this we can respond with another forcing move, which is pawn takes pawn, attacking the queen. And now black's best move is queen to d8. So the idea for the black player to play d6 was also to allow the white pawn in e5 to get out of that square so that black can put double attack on the knight in f6 and start breathing. Needless to say, queen d6 is met by c5, which is a fork attacking knight and queen, so that's not possible. Queen d8 is the best move. After queen d8, we play another credible move, which is knight h7. We're attacking the queen and the knight's attacking the rook. And this position is a nightmare for the black player. So now here, the black player will have to play like an engine to survive, but even then, white's still winning. What's going on here, black will have to find this incredible move, which still makes black not win the game, but it can be very confusing, and let's look at it. The move is knight to c4, attacking the queen. This could be taken for free, but then black will be able to play queen a5, so it's queen a5 is check. The queen keeps an eye on the bishop, can't take it of course, but this allows the black player to take the knight. Well, first of all, we've got to block the check. And the best move by white is king to e2. We don't want to allow any swaps that can allow the black player to breathe and play an endgame. So after king e2, best move by black is to take the knight. Let's assess the situation here. We have both players have queen, 2 rooks, and 3 minor pieces. We both have the bishop pair. White is up a pawn and it's a passed pawn. So the black player did manage to survive the strong attack we were planning on the h5. But the position is still much better for white. White is up almost 4 points according to the engine. White's king is safe. There's no particular weaknesses that white has to worry about. h4 is the next move. White's plan is to play h4 and then h5. And yeah, we're going to leave the line here.